So today we are replacing the DO caps for the Hobo DO sensors. They have to be replaced like every 8 months or something like that. Um, First thing you need to do is to stop it logging on the computer, which I've already done, and then do some thorough cleaning. Um, the body of the sensor still has a bit of calcium carbonate on it. It used to cover all the way over here, and this is what I was cleaning. But the most important part is that you clean the top as well as you can, and then the base around the sensor. And then after that, you have one of these kits that has everything you need, including instructions inside. So I will hopefully not drop that out of there. So you literally just go step by step on the instructions. Pretty simple, and has a diagram of everything that it's talking about. So like the sensor cap, which is the part that we're replacing. This is the protective guard, the thing that we have copper gauze around. And then the actual DO, the optical DO sensor, and the O-rings that are in the inside are underneath the sensor cap as well. So the first step is to clean the logger to remove major biofouling. That's what we just did. You want to get it as good as you can. It even says in the instructions that you can soak it in vinegar to remove mineralization like calcium carbonate. And so that is what we did with, well, you can usually soak it for a little bit. The Hana calibration cups are just too small. So if you really want to, you can grab a thin Eureka tube, fill that up, and with the protective cage, the protective guard, keep that on and let it soak in there for a couple minutes, and then take it out and use a scour pad or toothbrush or one of the other brushes provided by the Hanas to clean off the calcium carbonate. The second step is to unscrew the protective guard or anti-fouling guard, which I already have. It's in my pouch right here. You can remove the guard and clean it separately as well, because the insides get a bit dirty and it's harder to clean it, especially when we have the copper gauze on. 3 is to remove the sensor cap and remove existing, number 4 is to remove existing O-rings from the optical sensor. So what you do is don't twist this, you just pull straight up or sideways. If you twist, you can risk damaging the sensor and twisting it, and that would be very bad. The O-rings are these 2 lines right here. Doesn't say how to remove them. I always have forceps with me, so it's kind of easy for me, but if you have fingernails, you can probably get them. So to get them off, it's not too hard. You just sort of need to get underneath it and pull up, and then just keep pulling up around the sensor. Try not to touch the wiring, and then it eventually all will come off. And then, so sorry about video difficulty. I got the O-rings off. The next step is to use a cloth to remove moisture from the sensor, but in our packet there wasn't a cloth. But it's a good thing that there's always Kim wipes in the cal bag. Those are what we use for the Aqualog to clean the cuvettes. So it's very clean lens paper, and it will do just as good of a job. It says not to use anything else, but this is a just making it up on the fly, and Kim wipes are pretty reliable. It also says when you're drying it off, to make sure that the O-rings are free from moisture, because that's where most of the water will accumulate. You just want to make sure you're not touching anything with your bare hands or with anything other than the Kim wipes or the cloth that they provide. Next we are going to get the new O-rings out of the kit that they provide and get the grease lubricant stuff, spread that on them. Would you hold this?
Yeah.
So this is the pack of lubricant, and then there are 2 O-rings, 1, 2. And grab those. Just double checking something. Okay. So there is a rip top. Or what looks like a rip top. Yeah, there we go. But that didn't go anywhere close to the opening. Neither did that. Improvise a little bit. You can get the scissors out on a multi-tool and cut that tip open. And now you should be able to get the lubricant out. Oh, this stuff is real thick. So what I'm going to do is just put it on there. You're going to get dirty. I just put a lot on my finger, and I am just wiping it all over my hand and the rings. Try to get the insides and the outsides. This stuff is supposed to be greasy and sticky for a reason. That looks pretty well greased. And then I believe it says to put them on. Yeah, now I just need to put them on the sensor. So they're kind of stuck to my hand right now. So I'll grab one. And try and get it around. Oh my goodness. Okay, there we go. Now it's going on. So there's the first one. And here's the second one. Got stuck on the first one, so I'm gonna just pop it over. Cool. So there's a little bit of grease on other things. I'm gonna clean that up with the Kim wipes that I had. Well, actually, I don't need to do that. Because the next step is to use the alcohol wipe that they have in the kit and to clean the lens of the sensor and then allow it to dry thoroughly. So I'm going to find the kit again. There we go. Before I do that, it looks like a lot of the grease kind of came off when I was pushing them down, so I'm going to wipe a little bit more grease around the O-rings down there. And use a couple dry fingers to get the excess down so that's just on the O-rings. Okay, now we have this alcohol pad. Should've just done that first. Okay, so first wipe down the sensor lightly. If you got grease on it like I did when you were putting the O-rings back on, just try and get that off. Be very gentle. I'm also gonna clean off the wiring as much as I can because I know I got grease on there as well. It looks like I've gotten all of it off. And then I'm going to just clean up the other sides at the top. And then it says to allow it to completely dry so that you can inspect it for scratches and dirt. I am not seeing anything on it. I'm sort of just letting light reflect on it to see if there's anything in the way. And it looks fine to me. I'm not seeing any scratches or anything. Now we remove the new cap from its canister. Comes in this like old camera film looking thing. People still remember what that looks like when they watch this. And then there's another rip tab. Would you hold that again? Don't want to drop this in the water. And this is what a brand new one looks like. It doesn't, well, it looks like there's a kind of a tiny scratch on the top already, but that's manufacturer's fault, not us. But it's nice and black. The other one has grayed a little bit, kind of hard to tell, but in person you can tell that this older one is a little bit more weathered than this one. The film on the top of the cap is in better condition. And then it says with the flat part of the sensor pointing down and the green sensor cap oriented with the arrow up, slide the sensor cap over the sensor until it snaps in place. The cap should be snug against the logger housing without any gaps. Make sure that the O-rings are not pinched or rolled between the cap and the sensor. So you have the sensor says to put this part facing down, and then there's an arrow on the green cap, and you want that facing up. And then you slide it on until it snaps into place. And again, just like when you're taking it off, you don't want to be twisting it on, but you do want to pay attention as you're putting it on that there are no, like the O-rings stayed on and that they didn't like bunch up and keep the sensor from going down. And it says that there should be snug against the logger housing without any gaps. There's kind of a small gap right there. So I'm gonna take it off and see if one of the O-rings pinched. That looks fine. So you just need to make sure. You can see these two wires right there on the inside of the cap. It corresponds. And I don't think I had that lined up right in the beginning. So should come on like this. And that should be it. It does look like there's a tiny gap at the bottom still, but I might have put a little bit too much grease or something, but that was put on correctly this time. Then it says to just put the guard back on and recalibrate it using the software, which is all in the protocol. And that is that. That's how you replace the DO caps.